Welcome to your Joyful Life Podcast, episode 12. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Winberg, and together with Michael Fall, today's episode is called The Productivity Lie You Were Never Meant to Finish.
All right, welcome to episode 12, everyone, of your Joyful Life Podcast. And I got an interesting topic today. It's called Die Trying. And it comes from two of my other sort of bookends here. My current coach and mentor, Martha Chan, is the person I first heard Die Trying from. And my other significant mentor, one of my other significant mentors, Master Certified Coach Dominic Scafidi. So Martha gave me Die Trying, and Dominic has given me the You'll Never Get It All Done. And I thought that might be an interesting topic. We'll see how this goes.
Sure.
But the die trying piece, right? So let's do it this way. What do you hear? When I say die trying, what do you hear there? What's the first thing that pops to mind?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
We have.
What I hear is, I think the first time you said it, it reminded me of when I was doing martial arts.
Right.
Which is the idea that you don't like finish at a black belt. Like you're never
right.
done studying. And I think the path to mastery in anything is like this, right? You're never done.
Yeah.
And the idea of die trying is you're sort of pointed in some direction, whatever that is. And you are, I always think of it as a North Star. Like how are you orienting your life toward, I'm orienting towards this principle or value or something. And I'm going to pursue that against all challenges, obstacles, deterrents, distractions, whatever. Yeah. And I'm going to die trying to get there, knowing that there is no there because you can just keep going.
Yeah. That's how I see it now as well. The first time I heard it, it sounded very much like hard work. I'm going to die trying, man. This is work, and I'm digging a hole. I'm going to die trying to dig this hole.
And you do not like work.
I do not like work. I'm proud to say that I do not like work. I can work hard, but I do not like work. I like it to be easy, even when it's hard. So yeah, this idea, when I first heard that die trying, I was like, huh? It just sounded like work. And I see it much the same way now. You make a commitment to something or you take a stand for something. And, if you look at the sort of Landmarkian or Werner Erhard version of a commitment as the beginning of an adventure, a commitment is the beginning of something. Inevitably, there are going to be failures and roadblocks and maybe catastrophic falling off the cliff moments, but you're going to die trying. So to me, this idea of die trying, and as a martial artist as well, showdown black belt. Okay, mastered the basics. Good job. Keep going.
Right, yeah, kindergarten's done. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this idea to die trying is that there's something very comforting to me in this idea of never being able to get it all done.
Yeah.
The way that Dominic, I'll butcher this, Dominic, if you ever see this, I apologize, and come on someday and didn't do a better job, but we're called to do so much. So whatever it is that evokes whatever we want to do within us is constantly calling us, and there's no way we're going to get it all done. There's going to be work. There's going to be stuff unfinished. You're going to die having not, done every single thing you've wanted to do. It's just, there was something comforting in coming to the realization that as much as there is that I want to do, I don't have enough in this lifetime to be able to do it all.
Right. The way I heard Dominic explain it was like, even when you achieve your goals, that's not the end. There will be another goal. Another thing will present itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry about getting everything you want because you'll want more as soon as you
won't.
Get it.
Yeah.
Something else will open up as, the next vista of your life or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. The next thing will present itself.
The next thing you're called to or whatever it is. Yeah. So it was just interesting to hear, because I always had that. This probably comes from my dad, who was a hardworking dude, right? Sort of from the school of, if it's not working, put your other shoulder to the grindstone, and when that one's broken, get another one. And, right. So to work really hard. So this idea of, die trying is the way that Martha and I spoke about it was in your commitment to something. So I'm committed to this idea of gooderness. And I, I'm not going to go into what that means, but it's the best articulation I have for being the best version of myself that I can be.
I believe that was episode 10 of our podcast.
Was
that we
it?
did
Was
about
it gooderness?
Being gooder, yeah.
Being gooder?
9 or 10.
9 or 10, yeah. So yeah, there you go. Check it out. And I'm going to die trying to do that. And I'm going to fail at that. Yeah. And because I'm committed to that, I'm going to fail and recommit and fail and recommit and fail and recommit. And that cycle is going to go on. Maybe into the next life. If there is a next life, that is going to continue. So this idea of die trying just gave me this, I don't know, there was a freedom in it that I'm still clearly having a hard time to articulate, but just that, we're not going to get it all done. You're always being called to more. It's never finished. One thing okay, done with that. I got the fancy watch or whatever the hell it is, right? Or the, fancy husband or wife. Well, hopefully, if you get the fancy husband or wife, you're not on to the next one. But you're always being called to more. So there was just something very liberating about this idea of being okay with incompletion. Yeah, almost, right? Like, and that we can take a stand for something and really make a commitment to something, do our very, very best with it, and there's something very fulfilling in this idea of die trying. Yeah. Like whether it's continue to learn or continue to develop oneself or, whatever it is, continue to become the best carpenter you can be or whatever it is that you're called to. Be the best coach you can be, father, parent, husband, whatever, right? And there was just... I wish I had a recording of that coaching session with Martha when her and I talked about it. But it was just, there was liberation in this idea of die trying. It felt very, very peaceful, very, very motivating. Yeah. I'm taking a stand for something and my commitment is absolute. Yeah. In that commitment or that stand, right? Yeah, I had the same experience when I tried a bunch of martial arts when I was a kid, and then I finally found one, and I walked into the class and I was a couple minutes late for the first one, which is always a good sign. Job, yeah. But the opportunity that afforded me was to look at what the class was doing, and they were just doing a warm up. It was nothing impressive, or they were sort of jumping up and down or something like that. But I got hit with the feeling that I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. Right. That turned out not to be true, but for a while, the idea that I am committed to this as much as 15-year-old me has ever committed to anything, and there is no end in sight. This isn't like a 3-year project. Yeah, it's like I want to, I want my last day on earth to be, on this mat, doing this kind of thing. Well, and I would challenge that. I mean, you're not doing it actively anymore, but my guess is that what you learned, what attracted you to that in some way, shape, or form still burns in there somewhere. Yes, it was the first tease of sort of an answer or a direction of my life that is yeah. There are connected points to exactly to what I'm doing now for sure. Yeah. It just there's no white pajamas or falling on the ground. But yeah, the reason I'm mentioning that is I also had that sense of peace. It wasn't a stress that, I'm never going to be good enough. It was the exact opposite. It was, I'm just going to do it and I'm going to love it and I'm going to explore, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to literally and figuratively fall down. And it's going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun and a big part of my life. And that has sort of continued, and that sort of translated into, martial arts translated into energy work, and then meditation, and then Buddhism, and then yoga, and the connective tissue is all there, and I'm still nowhere closer to being done because there's no done. But I'm certainly a gooder person from the exploration and the learning. So, it's peaceful to just sort of surrender to the process
and just
Yeah,
be part of its unfolding and your unfolding.
yeah,
It's cool.
exactly. I like that sort of surrendering to the process. It speaks to the journey,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm committed to this journey, this path, and that doesn't mean that I'm gonna blindly follow it, because
Right.
you can just have a new commitment and then you're gonna die trying with that
Yeah.
commitment. That commitment evolves and changes, becomes a new commitment. But this ongoing process of commitment, stumble, recommit, learn, notice, recommit, stumble, fall off the cliff,
Yeah.
become an alcoholic for a bunch of years. We won't talk about that. Come back to, right? So this idea that we can always, that it's just, the process never ends.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call
cool,
out to
right?
like, this isn't like commit to the cult and then don't leave the cult.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, this isn't work. This isn't forcing.
No,
this is
well, it's taking a stand for the thing, or making a commitment to the stand you're taking now. So right now, and it has been for decades now, is this towards gooderness. That I don't see that ever going away. But it's a depth of commitment to the thing in the moment, not blindly.
Yeah.
Right. But this is a choice. I'm choosing to make this commitment to this thing. And that may change. But right now, I'm so committed that if I were to die now, if I were to be struck down, God forbid.
Not in my basement.
Yeah, not in the basement. I mean, in our studio, then I will have died trying in my stand for gooderness.
Right.
And I think somewhere in that is just a huge amount of peace and ease. It makes commitment and taking a stand for something. I'll use the word effortless.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
You've used the word stand, and this was something we've talked about a lot, and it's a term that has never, I know what you mean by it. It's never really resonated with me.
You like North Star, right?
Yeah. But talk about what you mean by stand, and let's tie that back to what we're talking about.
We can try. So Martha, if I get this wrong, feel free to correct me if you see this. The way that I see a stand is, it's the thing under which all of my commitments sit in support of. So
that's a good definition.
So my stand is for gooderness. I know Martha is one of, and I have other stands, and I know one of Martha's stands is to end world hunger. Underneath her stand of end world hunger are commitments. Underneath my stand towards gooderness, my best evolution of self, episode 9 or 10, underneath that stand for gooderness are things like a commitment to honesty, a commitment to truth, a commitment to equanimity, a commitment to learning, a commitment to acknowledging that I can be wrong, or so a stand to me feels like the overarching theme of something.
Got it. Yeah.
And then the commitments slot underneath that stand and support it.
Okay.
So the stand is almost sort of the ephemeral thing, and then your commitments are the like, okay, how do you?
Yeah.
Like, how are you supporting that stand is kind of how I see that. And again, Martha, if you see this, feel free to correct me.
Okay. That makes sense as you explain it. I think I suspect I had a different idea of what the word stand meant, and that was overriding a lot of what I was hearing from you the first couple of times.
Because that never happens, right? Yeah, with anyone.
What a strange human experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you explained is exactly what I call a North Star.
A North Star, yeah.
Yeah. And
it's like a guiding principle. Maybe principle is not, it's a guiding principle.
Yeah.
And
so having, and it's only been in the last year and a half at the most that I even had this concept and could have defined what my North Star is. But once I had it, everything just becomes easier.
Yeah.
Like every decision, every, branch in the road, because you're just orienting yourself back there as close as you can get. And like you say, you're going to fall, stumble, fall down the hill.
Yeah.
But when you get back up, you know which way to point to sort of keep going. And you also more easily identify when you are off that path.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to add that. Yeah.
When you are acting badder, it's much more obvious
of gooder,
once you have the concept of gooder, because Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going backwards.
Yeah. There's and I think there's power in declaring it
Yeah,
too,
I have found that in my
right?
experience. Yeah,
Like, and what was the word I just used? Declared, right? I declared that stand of gooderness. It's decades now, and I didn't really know what I was declaring.
right.
I still struggle to articulate it. Like I feel it, but but it came up as an answer to the world's problems. We just all got to get gooder,
Get gooder. Yeah,
and that's become my North Star. It is that which feels 100% aligned with whoever and whatever I am. And I like what you're pointing to there with, having that stand, having that North Star enables you to really feel deviation from it. So powerfully declaring what you stand for makes it really easy to notice
Yeah.
when you're not in alignment with that stand that you've declared,
yeah.
you know?
How do you think for people that haven't thought about this before, how can one start to uncover what their stand or North Star might be?
Wow. That's a big, good question. See podcast 11. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Broken record here. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel what resonates. So, how do you? I don't know, man. Trial and error. What? Shit. So for me, gooderness just kind of appeared. Just like, oh, that's it,
Okay.
and I had it. So I've never thought about reverse engineering it, right? But I think the answer might be in look inside for something that calls to you, for something that speaks to you.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest as an answer to my own question is like think about the things that you've been doing your whole life that when you didn't have to be doing them, might be like a hobby, if you're artistic, what have you been creating and what, not intellectually why, but like what has that been sort of giving you, or if you are involved in any kind of, like activism or a sense, anything that gives you a sense of mission, like what are you doing or what have you done in your life that makes you feel like you're doing the things you should be doing, as opposed to like doing what your boss tells you because you need a paycheck.
Yeah.
Those are probably indicators. Like for myself, it was like nobody told me to do martial arts.
What
I
feels
found it.
easy, right?
I found the next thing. I followed my curiosity. I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah. I like
it's
that.
not about trying to engineer some
No, absolutely not.
outcome like you would engineer, a career path. Like I want to be a lawyer. Here's the 8 steps I need. It's nothing like that. Where have I been
I
curious? Where has that led me? What do I get excited about?
I think excitement is probably a good word. Like excitement and curiosity are probably good words to introduce there, right? Like what is it that lights you up? And when you look past the thing that lights you up to whatever is behind the thing that lights you up, that might be a good place to start. Like I said, I've never thought to reverse engineer it. Because the short answer is going to be, well, feel it. Right? Like what's left, this might be a way, I don't know. What's left when you take thought out of the equation? What's left when you stop trying to think your way to this thing?
Right. Yeah. Thinking your way to it is not the way.
So that's not the right way to do. So if you're thinking about it, that's not right. It's something that'll bubble up. I think your stand is something that just appears when you take your personal thinking out of the equation a little bit. Maybe it comes in as an insight. Curiosity is certainly a good lens to hold, or a good way of looking at it. Looking at what feels like magical and delightful in your life, what comes effortlessly. Those are probably good directions to
effortless
look.
stuff is a good one. Yeah.
And then, your commitments may or may not have a little bit more of a doing kind of feel to them. Yeah, I have to think about this more. Maybe should have thought about that potential question, like how do you get to a stand?
this isn't part of my standard North Star, but I like in my career, maybe this will help someone. So I spent years in sort of customer support account management for
Right.
software companies and things. So in theory, I was helping customers, get more out of the product. And it was, I would say, sort of honestly helpful. Like I was legitimately trying to help them. They were honestly getting help. Um, and part of that felt good to me. Like it feels good to help people. What I realized was that what I was helping them with was not always that impressive. Like
Right.
imagine calling customer support for, Netflix or Gmail or something, or if you use any software at work, something like that. Like, yeah, you want more help, but like at the end of the day, like, okay, whatever. When I left that field and got a job working with sort of an underserved community,
Hmm.
the help that I was offering,
Right.
providing there, and the feedback I was getting from the people I was helping,
Right.
sort of awoke in me a sense of
Right.
a little bit more of like mission. Like, oh, there
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. 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 Yeah, and maybe that's another word for it too, right? Mission and stand.
yeah, like, oh, this is different. Like, this isn't.
Hmm.
I'm not just like doing stuff for money. Like, this
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
was having a meaningful impact on people's lives, and that felt good.
Yeah.
I recently started volunteering at a place in the city, helping sort of the underserved community,
Hmm.
and like, okay, now it's volunteering. There's definitely no
Yeah. Right.
financial.
Right.
I'm not doing something for something. It just feels really good to help people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that sort of journey between those three or four connecting points has helped
Hmm.
me find a thing that I enjoy doing and would like to do more of. And I'm not quite at that's part of my stand yet, but that's maybe an example of just sort of how you can kind of meander and feel your way towards
Well,
something pointing out that this is a good something you may want to be doing more of.
yeah, I think you landed on a good word, right? That there's joy in it
Yeah.
for you. I mean, my wife is a veterinarian, and she has I've never heard her articulate this, and I'm speaking on her behalf, but she has her stand is 100%. So within the veterinary community or within her work, 100% her stand is for the client, for the patient,
Mm.
for the cats and dogs that she works with. And all of her commitments, whether it's, clinic related or workflow related, all of those commitments are in this absolute stand
Right.
to being of service for the animals that
Mm.
she deals with, right?
Yeah.
Or the animals that she serves,
And it could
and
be
the people and their I can't believe I'm going to say parents
is
rather than owners.
is it supposed to be parents? I'm not enough in the animal community to know what
I
the
don't know what it's supposed to be,
okay.
but I'm all of a sudden I'm a dog dad, and I don't know how that happened, but
Right.
so just to finish that thought off, I think the stand for the animals comes effortlessly for her.
Right.
There's no effort, there's no doing, there's no trying. It's just it's there. And she's not one of those people that, was a little girl and knew she wanted to be a vet because she loved ponies or whatever, right? She went to school, studied chemistry,
Okay.
and made the decision to become a vet later on.
Right.
So I don't know if that was a calling or not, but that overarching stand, the umbrella under which all of how she is at work sits, is from an absolute 100% stand for the animals.
That's a great
and,
example. Yeah.
and their welfare, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that there's some part of me that thinks a stand will emerge when you are out of the way, when you're not trying to make it happen, when you're not trying to find it, when you're just, last episode, when you're in I don't know,
Yeah.
when you're in that place from which something can call to you, maybe something that pulls you towards it. In my case, it appeared as an answer to the question of what the fuck is wrong with this world we're living in. And on one hand, there's nothing wrong with it. On the other hand, back then, I was studying political science at the time, or just pre that, and I was like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Like, why do we keep repeating the same mistakes
Yeah.
and dressing them differently? Like we had to. So gooderness, that idea of just, increased consciousness is kind of this stand that I have, right?
Right.
But yeah, I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
Well, we went from die trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
Seems connected.
it does seem
You gotta
connected, doesn't it?
you gotta die trying,
I'm
doing the
gonna
right thing.
die trying to. Yeah, well, yeah, and we could debate the right thing too. The right thing for you.
For you, yes, not
Yeah, yeah. So right in the sense of you're called to it.
yes.
Not in trying to get it right or because you should do.
Yes, and not
Maybe
right
that's
because somebody else told you.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe part of that finding your stand is that it's not a should do.
Yeah, I think it's much closer to a calling,
Yeah,
or whatever the word you like instead of calling. But
yeah.
it's something you can't
It's almost
avoid.
something you can't not do.
Yeah, my dad was a writer.
Right.
His I mean, not a commercially successful writer, but like
He's a writer. Yeah, I got
he
you.
could not have lived his life not
Without writing.
writing.
Right. Yeah.
That would have been inconceivable and like literally impossible, I think, for
So
him.
so maybe that's a good way to articulate that. How do you find your stand? Is to feel your way towards that one thing or the things that without which your life has less meaning. Is that too strong?
I don't think it's strong enough.
Uh,
I mean, meaning is, I don't know, but like there's something in your life that you can't not do.
yeah.
That's probably an indicator that that's
And
on the track.
I think part of it is also allowing yourself to do that, right? To make those big bold claims, to make those big stand or to have those stands,
Yeah.
those commitments, right? To step beyond the I can't do that.
Right.
Right. And I think that ties nicely into sort of what Martha was articulating to me in our coaching session back then is that, your stand could be for something truly massive if you allow yourself to take a stand for that thing that is truly massive. So,
Yeah.
so maybe a stand is something that scares you a little bit, that's like, that looks kind of like, oh shit, I don't know.
Right.
But if you allow yourself to step into the fullness of it, who knows where it leads.
Yeah.
Changing the world and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, if everyone took a stand for equanimity, if everyone took a stand for honesty and truth and, love in the world, I mean, if everyone made commitments around things like that, who knows, maybe.
But then what would we all get angry about?
Well, we'd find something because, we're pretty good at that.
Better, yeah.
And even then there would be things to notice and we would learn things from the getting
Right.
angry, right? So it's feeding itself. Trying to be funny there, I think we were. I don't really have much else to say about the die trying or.
No, I think it's an interesting
it's-
concept, and maybe we'll see if I get any feedback from this or people have questions.
Yeah, it's
could
not
address them.
work. It's not
Yeah.
work. It's not effort.
No, I think it's a helpful. To me, it's been not helpful. It's been a transformative framework with which to view my life.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
it wasn't a lot of work to get there, other than all the stuff I did for the last 30 years.
to not get there or right. Yeah.
The articulating of it was not that much work, and even if you don't get it right, I think maybe that's something else to mention. Like you can just get close enough on day one and refine and adjust as you go.
Well,
in the articulation of it.
Or in the discovery of it or the articulation of it. In either case, you take a stand for something and, the commitments that support that stand will clarify whether the stand is the one for now or maybe the one for the next time. I mean, there's always learning, there's always noticing, there's always new information coming. So in a sense, you can't really get it wrong. I guess you could just say, I'm declaring my stand to be, and then see how it feels.
Sure.
And, little by little, you'll get yourself there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that simple. Maybe you can just say something.
Okay. That'd be nice if that was the answer.
This is it. This is
Right.
my stand. And now I'm going to test and see how that feels. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right.
Go think about that.
Excellent. Yeah.
What's your stand? All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah. What is your stand? What are you going to die trying?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Excellent.
See you on the next one, everyone.
Have a good one, everyone.